Mastering strong verbs to boost your writing skills is really important. If you're using weak verbs in your story, then it diminishes the power of your story and it creates a little bit of a disconnect between your characters and your audience.
Now, a weak verb is just really, it's a poor verb choice versus a strong verb that creates a vivid picture for your reader. Using a stronger verb gives us a more detailed, specific image of what's happening in that scene.
Weak verbs tend to tell and not show. If you've watched very many of these writing videos, whether it's on this channel or another one, you've probably heard the phrase, show, don't tell. Well, that's really important because if you're telling, you're really disconnecting from the reader. When you're showing, it gives a way better imagery in the reader's mind. So when you use weak verbs, they tend to be telling verbs. When you use stronger verbs that better describe the scene, it's way more showing and draws your audience in.
Let's take a look at how you can use a strong verb to transform a sentence. Now, let's say you're writing a scene and there's a character walking through a dark forest. And a weak sentence would be, she walked through the forest and it was scary. That's pretty weak.
That's pretty weak. Yeah, I would agree.
A stronger choice and a stronger sentence would be, she tiptoed through the forest, the trees looming over her like sentinels, their branches creaking ominously in the wind. That is so much more vivid. By using strong verbs like tiptoed, looming, creaking, we create a very vivid picture for the reader that shows the reader that the character is scared and creates tension. Now, this is a great example of using strong verbs to create a vivid picture.
Okay, let's talk adverbs for a minute. An adverb modifies the verb before it. And if you need an adverb to get across the meaning that you want using the verb, it's probably a really weak verb. So anytime you see an adverb, look at the verb right before it and ask yourself if there's a better option for a verb that would maybe be more descriptive or a more powerful verb. Let me give you an example of that. He ate happily. Or, he gobbled his food with a grin. So replacing the verb that needs an adverb is really smart, but this is just a tip because, like with all writing rules, you want to be careful. It's not a hard and fast thing because sometimes you do want to keep that adverb. So just take this into consideration because you want to replace the weak verbs, but sometimes you might want to keep that adverb.
Next, look at the to be words.
What is a to be word? Come on.
The to be words. It's a state of being. Is, am, are, was, be, been, being. These are words that you probably learned in school, and you want to get rid of them if you can.
Well, I did learn them, but I didn't call them to be words, so that's a new one to me.
Well, when you get rid of these to be words, you may have to rearrange the order of your sentence, so keep that in mind. Here are some examples of this. She was walking to the park versus she strolled to the park. She was being harassed by someone she didn't know. Someone she didn't know harassed her. The dog was running. The dog sprinted across the field. The music was loud. The music blasted through the speakers.
Strong verbs help us create more of an immersive and engaging reading experience. Using a weaker verb diminishes that and disconnects the reader, so they're not really pulled into the story as much. A strong verb gives a more detailed expression of what's happening so they can create the image in their own mind while they read the story. Let me give you a couple of examples. Burn versus torch. Cut versus shred or destroy. Scared versus horrified. Mess versus disaster. Ate versus devour. Make versus create. forge, brew. Walk versus slink, trot, mope. Run versus bolt, sprint, jog, or dash.
Use strong verbs to make your writing more concise and to help create a mood for the reader. Using strong verbs increases the enjoyment of the story for the reader.
If you liked this video and it was beneficial, check out this next one because you're probably going to like it as well. We would love for you to give us some of your favorite strong verbs in the comments. We'll catch you next time.